I might have just found my favorite airport. Welcome to Kempegowda International Airport in Bangalore, India. Today I'll be flying to Colombo, Sri Lanka aboard SriLankan Airlines on the Airbus A320-200. The flight will be 1 hour and 20 minutes long, going in economy class, and let's see how this goes. Now, isn't this stunning? Kempegowda Airport was opened in 2008 with the name Bengaluru International Airport. It was then renamed to its present name in 2013, giving respect to the founder of Bengaluru city, Hiriya Kempegowda I. This new terminal, however, was inaugurated in November 2022 to further increase the capacity of the Silicon Valley of India. Okay, I checked the radar and found out that SriLankan Airlines is bringing one of their ex-Mihin Lanka aircrafts, 4 Romeo-Mike Romeo Echo. I've heard the economy class product is not that great, so I'm curious to try it out myself and let y'all know how it is. The design, ambience and overall finish is in a league of its own. Much closer to world-class hubs like Singapore Changi and Doha Hamad in terms of appearance. By the way, this beautiful marvel is inside the airport. So this airport is beautiful and spacious while keeping the same theme everywhere. It also has these certain walkways, if you can see, throughout the outdoor of the airport. Unfortunately, it's closed today, because I would have definitely taken you all through. Expect to walk a long distance, but if you're finding it difficult, there is buggy service. Expect a small meal on board, so I'd suggest you get something to eat before your flight. Looks like our aircraft has arrived and we are boarding from gate C3. Before we board, just a little bit of plane spotting. 2 beautiful 777s have just pulled up. SriLankan Airlines has 3 different seating types across 7 A320-200s, as shown here. I have labeled the seating types 1, 2 or 3 at the top of each aircraft. If you like these pictures, you can check them out on planespotters.net, however not sponsored. We will be flying 4 Romeo-Mike Romeo Echo, an ex-Mihin Lanka aircraft which is 20 years old. Business class is laid out in a 2x2 configuration, while economy class in a 3x3 configuration. If you want to see the business class product, I will be showing it while leaving the aircraft. We get a thin, one-piece, biscuit-like tray table at this seat with no adjustable headrests. If you can see carefully, it hasn't been cleaned properly. And even if it looks like it has, make sure to always wipe down your tray table with a tissue before eating. A shocker would be the individual air vents and reading lights that are offered. And now it's time to commence our taxi to the runway. I'll let you enjoy it. For those who don't know me, welcome to my channel, Tristen Trip Reviews. I'm Tristen. As a passionate flight influencer, I'm dedicated to providing honest, transparent insights into various modes of travel, with a special focus on the flight travel industry. Every review I share is 100% self-funded, ensuring that the opinions you hear are genuinely mine. Join me as I uncover the highs and lows of travel to help you make better informed decisions for your next adventure. And now to the review. If you're enjoying the video so far, I'd suggest you hit subscribe and enable notifications to be the first one to know when a new video is released. And trust me, there are many more on the way. On short flights such as Bangalore, Chennai, Cochin, Trichy, Malé and a few more, do not, and I repeat, do not expect a full meal. Some argue that it's understandable due to the flight length and some beg to differ. I stand in the latter. This is the cheesy vegetable calzone and an apple juice pack. I wonder who made the blunder of spelling cheesy wrong. Really, SriLankan? Also note that you don't get an option. There is no veg or non-veg, it's just vegetable. And though they did have apple and orange juice on this flight, they would first hand out all the apple juices and once they're over only bring out the orange. So you don't really have an option there too. Just to make the comparison, I flew Air India to Chennai in 2023 from Colombo and received a full meal despite the length of the flight being similar. At this rate, how can SriLankan compete with any of the other airlines? Colombo is now in view and we have begun our descent. Once we hit the ground, once we land, you will hear the Tristen SkyScore for this flight. Stick around. Welcome to Bangalore International Airport, Colombo, Sri Lanka. We have arrived ahead of schedule, 10 minutes to be precise. The local time is 11:20 AM. And now the moment you have all been waiting for, Tristen's SkyScore. As it is a full-service airline, we will be looking at the following assess metrics: ground service, service aboard the aircraft, seat, catering and in-flight entertainment. Starting off with the ground service, which includes the booking and online check-in process. Booking of tickets is seamless on the website and also can be done at SriLankan Airlines physical outlets. However, you are not allowed to choose your seat upon booking, but instead you get the chance to do so 24 hours before your flight via the online check-in process, similar to some other airlines. This means that until the day before your flight, you will be randomly assigned to a seat. This can be a disadvantage, but it's due to the fleet inconsistency of SriLankan Airlines. As my experience was smooth, they get an 8 out of 10. Secondly, the service on board the aircraft. This includes the way the cabin crew reacts to requests on the flight and the overall reactions to the passengers, aka their customers. SriLankan Airlines flight attendants are known for their consistency and speed in the cabin, whilst having a smile on their face and maintaining respect. It wasn't any different on this flight, hence the service gets an 8 out of 10. Moving on to the seat. This is where you're gonna hear about the areas that this airline lacks in. A 20-year-old aircraft with absolutely no entertainment systems, a thin and flimsy tray table and a seat so slim that you can feel when the person behind puts pressure on the back of your seat. I can't imagine myself enduring this for a flight any longer than this one. Thereby, the seat gets a 4 out of 10. Well, next is catering. The calzone presentation was nil, as it's just handed to you along with the juice pack. Even on flights of this length, a choice between non-veg and veg should be offered, as we are paying full service prices not to receive budget airline catering. Taste was rather average, and as shown before, the person in charge of printing the labels really needs to learn how to spell cheesy, because spelling it wrong gives a bad impression of the airline and the country to numerous foreigners who fly this airline daily. Let me also further emphasize on the juice pack given. When I flew to the Maldives back in 2022 on SriLankan, the apple juice was offered to us poured in cups, a flight of a similar duration to that of Bangalore to Colombo. This demonstrates a decline in Sri Lankan's catering, and handing juice packs gives the impression of flying a budget airline. All in all, catering was quite the disappointment, getting a 3 out of 10. Lastly, and surely the least, in-flight entertainment. As per my seating type labels for the A320-200 fleet of Sri Lankan Airlines, entertainment systems aren't offered on this flight and 3 other aircraft out of the 7 operating currently. These aircraft are used for long-haul flights too, such as Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, to name a few. Not offering in-flight entertainment is a severe factor that's lacking, as these aircrafts are not equipped with Wi-Fi either, especially for families with young children who require to be occupied during these long flights. And as I am assessing this flight where in-flight entertainment was not offered, this automatically gets a 0 out of 10. And the final score for this flight from Bangalore to Colombo aboard UL 1174 offered by SriLankan Airlines is 4.6 out of 10. The Bangalore to Colombo sector currently has flights operated by both Sri Lankan and Indigo, a full-service and budget airline. But after watching this review, do you really think it's worth flying Sri Lankan or opting for the budget option? Let me know in the comments below. And that concludes my journey with Sri Lankan Airlines from Bangalore to Colombo. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more detailed, self-funded reviews like this one. Any questions or thoughts you'd like to convey? The floor is yours, aka the comment section. Once again, this is Tristen from Tristen Trip Reviews. See you in the next one. Bye for now.